And welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for a full Barca news roundup. And we are going to be talking more today about PSG versus Barca, because Luis Enrique has been streaming and he has come out with some absolutely fantastic quotes. All of that is on the way. And another person that's been talking is Joan Laporta. He has been discussing their Xavi's future, the team right now, his preference on what happens at the end of the season, and he's also been discussing Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. And certainly there are some tasty words from Joan Laporta. It is all coming up for you today. Full discussion. Let's do it. Because ahead of more discussion on the Champions League, we have a few really interesting super thanks donations here. Milos says that if Barca do end up stopping Mbappe, he could see us reaching the Champions League final this season. And Amir, who remember predicted our quarter-final draw, he is extremely confident of Araujo locking down Mbappe. And there's plenty more predictions here coming in on the super thanks that Barca could even win the Champions League, getting through PSG, maybe then Atletico Madrid, and then Bayern in the final. Let's remember that one right there and keep sending them in, guys. Really, really appreciate it here, and so much more coming up about this Champions League clash against PSG. But I want to start first of all by talking today about Gavi, because I want to talk about this young man and give an update on him, because Barca this morning posted all of these photos here of Gavi continuing his rehab on the beach, on the sand there, as he continues to push forward in his recovery from the knee surgery that he underwent back in November. And you can actually see here right there the scar on Gavi's knee, of course. It was a surgery on that ACL problem. There was also a bit of damage, wasn't there, to the meniscus in the knee. And I've got to be honest with you guys, I miss Gavi so badly in this team. I mean, every single day, every game that we're without him, you feel it. You feel his absence there within the group. He's the kind of player that you want involved. You want him in and around the team in every single match. Everything that we do, we should have Gavi along with us. And I'm absolutely thrilled to see there that his recovery is going well, that he is on the right track there, and also that he does have a smile on his face whenever he can. It's been a tough season for him, such a young age there to get that injury, but we all want him to bounce back. We are all very much behind him, supporting him and missing him. And next season will be his time. There has also been this morning some big news emerging surrounding Stanislav Lobokta, the Slovakian international and Napoli midfielder, of course. And this man was very much at the heart of Napoli's midfield when we faced them very recently, of course, in the Champions League. And there's been big news surrounding him because his agent openly came out today and said, "We have spoken with Deco about signing Lobotka for Barcelona." And he said, Barca want him. They want to sign my client, but many things must happen first. And how many times do we hear that with Barca? You know, we want somebody, we're looking at somebody, we're in talks to sign somebody. But as we all know, so many things have got to align. So many things have to happen in order for us to go out and sign a player. But those are really interesting words there from Lobotka's agent. And I don't deny that that may indeed be the truth. Because don't forget, guys, ahead of the second leg against Napoli in the Champions League, Xavi was actually asked, which Napoli player do you admire most? Which player within their team? They've got so much talent. Who do you like most? And he said, it's got to be Lobotka. He said he does not lose any balls. I would like to see him at a club like Barca. He makes the difference for Napoli. And Xavi, they're clearly big fan of Lobotka, and the club are certainly tracking him right now. And Lobotka's agent actually said today, by the way, on those Xavi words, that apparently Lobotka actually sent him a screenshot. He sent his agent a screenshot there of what Xavi has said about him, just because he's so proud that he would actually say that about him. Absolutely amazing there. And I've got to say, guys, obviously he's not a big name. And I think whenever you don't get a big name being linked with Barca, there's questions, there's people saying there, is he really that good? You know, would he help the team? Is he a player that we should be signing? But honestly, I do think he's quite an underrated player. If you have watched Napoli for any amount of time, if you watch them quite regularly there, you would see he is the heartbeat of their midfield. He is a very neat and tidy player there in their midfield. And I also remember as well, when he was at Celta Vigo, he was really impressive in La Liga when he was playing with Celta too. He's a very, very good player, and he is 29 years old right now. Napoli, though, do have him under contract until 2027, so by no means there have we got too much leeway on that deal, but there's no word right now on exactly what Napoli would demand in terms of that transfer fee. But I'm just interested here, if you've seen much of Lobotka, do you rate him? Could you see him there come in, be part of that that midfield be, of course, the pivot that we are looking for, or are there better options out there? Are there more suitable options for Barca out there in the market right now? But it is clear a few talks here have taken place. But speaking, though, about the Champions League, how could we not talk about Luis Enrique and his Twitch stream last night? I said that he was returning to streaming. I said that I hoped he would reveal his full tactics for the game. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. But what he did give us was some amazing interactions there. I actually think it's really refreshing to see a top level coach, somebody there that's won it all in the game, to be sitting down and interacting there with the football community. Absolutely fantastic to see from Lucho. That is the kind of guy that he is. And I thought it was also great as well that he announced there the launch of a foundation in the name of his daughter. We all know his daughter tragically passed away at the age of 9 after suffering with cancer, and Lucho there opening up a foundation in her memory. And it was then typical Lucho in many ways, because he was actually asked in the stream, you can give donations like super thanks really here on YouTube. He was asked there, what would it take to play Mbappe at centre-back? What would it take for you to do that? How many subs would we have to give you? And Lucho then replied in typical style for him. He said, how many subs? I wouldn't need subs. I would need you to donate 4 or maybe 5 million to this charity foundation, and maybe then I'll rest Kylian. Send me the invoice. And guys, we know what we got to do. Lucho there has made it very, very clear. If we come up with the cold, hard cash, we can get Mbappe out for these Champions League games. Lucho has told us exactly what is required. But on a serious note there, guys, I thought Luis Enrique was incredibly respectful there when talking about this game to come, when talking about Barca and his connection. He said, look, I've been a club member for 25 years, and I will be for all of my life until I die. Barca and Sporting there, Sporting Gijón, where Luis Enrique is from, they will always be part of my life. But he said, look, this is my profession. I've got to help the team that I'm with right now. I've got to put in the full amount of effort. But he said, I see the tie against Barca as a very difficult one, not only because they've won 5 Champions League titles, but also because of the greatness of the club. He gave big credit to Xavi there. He said he's had real courage to play young players at the club, and they are doing incredibly well right now. So Luis Enrique, aware of the threat of Barca, certainly still feels a real bond and connection with the club. But what I thought was really intriguing was when he was asked there, how many Barcelona players would get in the PSG team? In your team, the one that you're coaching, how many Barca players would actually get in that lineup? And he came back with 7 Barcelona players Lucho believes would get in the PSG team. He said Ter Stegen, Araujo, Koundé, Frenkie de Jong, Gundogan, Yamal, and also Lewandowski. And he said not only at PSG, but City, Bayern, Arsenal, they would get in all of those teams. So huge credit there to all of those players. But also, does that mean a bit that he doesn't really rate his team? Does that really mean a bit there that he doesn't actually think that highly of the players that he has? That he'd much rather have some of the Barcelona players at his disposal? You can interpret that in different ways, but either way, big credit there to all of those 7 that Lucho did mention. And on Twitch he was asked the kind of inevitable question there regarding Barca. Could he ever return as the coach? Particularly there this summer when Xavi is going to be leaving the club. Could Lucho come back and be the Barcelona coach? And he did say, I've always said that I wanted to return to Barca, but he did say though, I don't really think that our paths align right now. He said they are looking for a manager, but my rule has always been in coaching, I fulfill my contracts, especially there with people that trust me. He said, so I will not break my contract here at PSG. I would never do that. So things right now don't really align. But I thought it was interesting that Lucho did not shut the door there. He's not saying, look, I'm never coming back. I would never ever return to Barca. He would like to, clearly there he still feels a real connection with the club, and I think he would certainly still thrive at the club, but he is under contract at PSG for one further season after this one, and there's no sign of yet that will change. But by far and away, the best quote of this entire Twitch stream, the best quote there that Luis Enrique came out with, especially from a Barcelona standpoint, by the way, he said the beautiful thing about this match is that if I'm to lose to Barca, at least it's my club who eliminates me. So he's saying there, as the coach of PSG, at least if we lose, it's still my club that's knocked me out of the competition. And certainly from a Barca point of view, we love this guy. We absolutely love his personality. When he was at the club, he was absolutely incredible there in terms of what he did for us. And even now he's been away, he is still giving us great moments. I'm not sure PSG fans would be too happy with that, by the way, but I don't really care. It's a great quote. But I would also just like to draw your attention, guys, regarding that PSG game right here to this, because actually the league in France has decided, and they do this quite frequently, by the way, it's not just to do with Barca or anything else here, but they've decided that they will postpone league games for PSG in and around there, the European games against Barca. So the league in France there, with the clubs that are involved in Europe, they have postponed their league games in order for them to fully focus and have the maximum amount of rest for those European games. And by the way, I've got no issue with that. My concern here is saying, just look at what this is. Just look at what this is here. A league helping, looking to help, looking to elevate its clubs. What are La Liga doing? What do La Liga do every single year? When have they ever tried to help? Not only us, but let's look at all the teams in the league. When have they tried to do that? And PSG now will have maximum rest between the two legs, which, by the way, may not always work in their favour. Sometimes, you can have too much rest. You can then not be at your maximum. You can not be at your peak physical condition. But either way, Ligue 1, they are looking to help their clubs. And they are trying to help PSG and all the other French clubs progress in Europe. Then, though, we do have to move on to the words of Joan Laporta, because he has been doing some talking. When Laporta sits down for an interview or a series of questions there, he really does go for it, doesn't he? He really does leave it all there on the line. First of all, when he was talking about Xavi, he honestly said, I would like Xavi to stay at the club. But he did say, I'll say one thing, we're not talking about that right now. He said, I've already told him that many coaches want to come to Barca. We are receiving proposals right now from everywhere. But I've told Xavi that we respect the fact that he will stay only until the end of the season. It was his decision. And my feeling here has always been Laporta never ever wanted Xavi to leave. He didn't make that a secret. He's always wanted him to stay at the club. He always backed him there until the very end. But I think even in Laporta's mind right now, deep down, I think he sees that Xavi still wants to go, that he still has made up his mind, that he won't change that. He keeps repeating there, I want to leave, I want to go, I want Barca to have change. And Laporta is seemingly understanding that. But he did say again, Xavi knows I'd like him to continue. I've already told him that. I told him, is there any way that he could change his mind? But he did say, I've seen him under a lot of pressure. I could see it there in his expressions. He keeps saying that he wants to leave at the end of the season, but we will see. Let's not put pressure on ourselves right now when everything is working again. So that is interesting there. I think Laporta doesn't really want to go too far down that road, because why would we? Why would we meddle right now in things that are happening when we are looking quite good? We don't need to pry too far into things. We don't need to look too far into things right now. Let's just keep on this path. Let's keep winning. Let's keep hoping, keep believing. And on that very matter, he said, I've told Xavi that we're doing well now. We are getting better and better. And since he's announced his departure, we've won again. And we're winking at each other as if to say, something could happen here. We could do something. It's getting better and objectives are being achieved. He said, we are dreaming of something that is not a fantasy anymore. Today, it's a reality. We are in the Champions League quarterfinals with a very tough tie against PSG, but having the second leg at home is good for us. The team is super motivated. So right now, even inside of the club, you're getting people there like Laporta and Xavi winking at each other, thinking, okay, could we? Could we? Is there a chance here? Are we maybe onto something? That's exciting. People within the club, and you see it in the players as well now, it's a different atmosphere. It's a different vibe. Even among the fan base, we are believing again. We are seeing that, okay, we could do something special. We're not going to bank on it. We're not just going to expect it, but we want to believe. We want to be excited about the possibility of doing something special all together here in this season, no matter what happens beyond it. But speaking there about the beyond, about next season, well, Laporta was inevitably asked about Mbappe, about Real Madrid. He was asked there, do you envy Real Madrid signing Kylian Mbappe? And Laporta came back, honestly or not, we don't really know, but he said not at all. all. Not at all. I do not envy them. He said, besides, I don't know if he'll come or not. We don't know that for sure yet, so let's see. But he said, I do not envy them signing Mbappe, because he then went on to say, they're going to have a problem there though, aren't they? He said, because you'll have to sell a player, won't you? Somebody will have to go, because they're not all going to play in the same place. And speaking of the figures that are out there, it won't be cheap. And this can distort the safe dressing room. So Laporta here, he's not pulling any punches. He is not holding back at all. He is saying there, number one, somebody's got to go. If Mbappe is arriving, Real Madrid may have to sacrifice somebody. And then he goes on to say, it's not going to be cheap. And could the amount of money that we're talking about here distort Real Madrid's really balanced dressing room right now? And Laporta wasn't kidding, by the way, about these figures, because L'Equipe reported yesterday that Real Madrid will make Mbappe their highest paid player, and comfortably, with a gross monthly salary of between 2.5 to 3 million euros a month. 2.5 to 3 million a month for Mbappe, and that's on top, by the way, of the reported 100 million euro signing bonus. These are absolutely eye-watering amounts, which when you put all that together, it's not really a free signing, is it? You know, he may be coming technically on a free transfer, but this is anything but free. And I'm actually interested to see, guys, off the back of those Laporta words there, what is the dynamic going to be between Mbappe and Vinicius at Real Madrid, for example? Because it is true, they are two players there that want to play in the same areas. They are two players there with big personalities. They want to be the star. They want to be the leader of the team. Are they going to be able to coexist? And these are the kinds of questions that are going to be swirling around, and it may work, it may not. We are going to have to wait and see. But what do you guys make there of Laporta's big words, honest words maybe, on Mbappe heading to Real Madrid? And please do, guys, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below there, not just on Laporta's quotes, but also there his thoughts on Xavi, Luis Enrique's words as well on the Champions League battles to come, and exactly how you are feeling right now about Barca's chances and how we are progressing. Do let me know all of your feelings down below. I will see you soon indeed, with lots more videos coming up. Thank you for the incredible support, but until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.